Robin Higginbottom, first in the house tonight. Hey, it's good to see all you guys, man. This is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, getting ready to go live with a killer episode of ShopTalk. Tonight, we're looking at Cycle Source Magazine's year-in-review issue, and more importantly, the best ofs. Who won your vote for the best from 2020 in the motorcycle industry? We have a killer lineup. Every host from every one of the Source Media shows is on with us tonight. Almost. Practically everybody's here. It's a full house. It promises to be crazy. Make sure everybody knows that we're putting this up live. Hit that share and like button. Let your friends and neighbors know we're going live with ShopTalk in just 4 minutes. Throw up your name wherever you guys are from, where you're watching this from, so we can give you a little shout out. And spammers, I hate you. I hate you, spammers. Hate you. All right, Nate Brown in the house, Steve Henderson, Dennis Mason, Big D checking in. Dennis Stauber, right on. Can barely hear Chris. Okay, well that's just because the music's on and I'm not supposed to be talking anyway. I'm just telling you guys, 3.5 minutes, we're going live. Don't go anywhere. Going to be a killer episode of Shop Talk in just 3 minutes. Happy anniversary, Rob and Beth. Are you kidding me? We didn't know that? I can't wait to get him on the air. I want to know the secret. How did you make it? Mitch Bodine in the house. Our brother from New Jersey. Dude, did you see the size of that pork roll that somebody sent me? Jeremy Sather checking in from Minnesota. Marjorie, Shadow, what's up? Down on the shore. Nancy Weems, always good to see you. Lauren Whitaker, hey all you in TV world. Not a good week for winter riding in California. Whoa. It's definitely got to be better than here in Pennsylvania. Gotta love the pork roll. That's right. But dude, this thing was like a 22-pound pork roll. I made mention on a show a week or so ago that how much I did go into New Jersey because I like hitting up the pork roll. And one of the other listeners sent us one, man, and it was the biggest one I've ever seen. And you know, if you're gonna have pork roll, yeah, I'm just going to stop there. Yes, Nate Brown, there are other things in New Jersey to appreciate, but this is somewhat of a family show tonight. Sasha Cycles, what's up, buddy? Chris Simmons, what is a pork roll? Sounds gross. It is the most delightful thing you will ever find on a breakfast sandwich. I'm telling you right now. Taylor ham. Now see, you gotta go there. That's where the high-class New Jerseyites say it, at Taylor ham. It's pork roll. Get with the program here. All right, man. Hey, we're just about 30 seconds out, so I'm gonna cut you guys loose. We're gonna start this thing up and get ready to go live with Shop Talk. Here we go. Scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It's Sunday, just shortly after 9 p.m. on the East Coast. That means it's time for another episode of Shop Talk. I'm your host, Chris Callen, from the Cycle Source magazine headquarters, 50 floors below the street level in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Thank you for joining us. Going to be a killer show tonight, man. We're so excited to be back here like every Sunday. I mean, we love doing the show, but tonight we're taking an official look back at 2020, and then we're going to cut it loose, and that's the last time we're talking about it. And man, it could not happen fast enough for most of us. Joined here like I am every week by my crew. What's up, crew? How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey.
A little intimidated by this crowd here, I can tell you that. It's going to be some
I
heavy hitters.
I'm kind of nervous about tonight's show.
There's
Jason, a lot of big personalities
Jason's
here.
looking at me funny. Rebecca's going to yell at me for something, I'm sure.
That's what I'm afraid I'm going to spend the whole show going, stop that. Don't touch him. Don't look at him like that. Stop teasing Mark.
He's breathing my air.
So real quick, I'm going to introduce everybody because my limitations as a serious producer preclude me from keeping everybody separate. But here's our star-studded panel. What's up, panel? How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey.
I just learned about pork roll.
You're not missing anything.
He did say the best thing on a breakfast sandwich, otherwise than the egg and the cheese and whatever the bun it comes on. But it is the best thing otherwise than those.
Listen, I'm telling you right now.
Cheese on a hard roll.
That's
I
right.
think it's one of those things you have at 3 a.m. when you're trying to go
Yes.
home after a night of drinking.
It's that
Correct.
too. It's that
That's
too.
what I thought.
It's good for any time of the day if you're a happy fat kid. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'm that any time of the day.
So, listen, man, if this is your first time tuning in for Shop Talk, this is not our regular program, but we are blessed by having everyone from Source Media Shows join us tonight to talk about the Cycle Source magazine's Year in Review. Year in Review is a little thing we do since, I think, 2006 with Cycle Source magazine, where we take one issue at the beginning of each year. We look back at the whole last year in motorcycling, and we ask our readers for 2 months beforehand to vote on who was the best man of motorcycling, woman of motorcycling, the products, the bikes, the art, everything. And we give what we call the best of awards. And tonight we're going to go through the best of awards. But one at a time, I want to introduce everybody. So if we could just go from the top left of our square up here, everybody introduce yourself. Everybody knows Heather, so we'll skip to the next person.
Wait, is that me? I'm in Hollywood Squares. I'm in Middle Square.
Yeah, you're
Hi.
top middle.
Chris Simmons from Maui, Hawaii.
Okay, so Chris is half of the dynamic duo every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. that puts together Coast to Coast. It's a fantastic show. We're going to talk about all the shows in the last part of the hour, so stick around for that. But moving on to the right-hand side top.
I'm Tom Banks from Banks Gas.
Banks Gas Services right here, Tom Banks.
Well, this
Sponsor
is going to be easy.
Cannonball Chronicles.
So this is Mr. Rob Nussbaum. He is affectionately known at Source Media as our ASPROD.
Asprod.
Which is short for associate producer, believe it or not. But there's many other meanings that we use for it.
Well,
Is that what you tell him it means?
it all matters how the conversation's going is what that means.
But Rob is half of the other dynamic duo from Motorcycle Cannonball Chronicles. We're going to move down to the bottom left, the man himself, Mr. Jason Sims.
Howdy, folk.
Yay!
So Jason, I'm going to let you list your titles because there are too many for me to even keep up at this point.
I'm the promoter of the Motorcycle Cannonball and also the Cross Country Chase, a couple of antique motorcycle races, and I do the Cannonball Chronicles with Mr. Robbie every Wednesday night.
Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern also. Next,
Hump day!
bottom middle, we're moving to the world famous Mr. Michael Lichter.
Greetings from Boulder, Colorado, and I'm the co-host with Chris Simmons on our Tuesday night multicast of Coast to Coast.
Nice. Look how good he does that. See that?
He's such a
He
professional.
does.
He's a pro.
Thank God for him, I have to say. Thank God
We
for
have
him.
one professional in the crowd anyway.
I love how he forgot to say like legendary motorcycle lifestyle photographer, like one of the best ever.
Yeah, buddy. Yep.
Photographer schlep over here. Do my work.
You know.
And a wonderful cook and a wonderful friend.
Photographer.
One day, Michael, and I hope it happens while you're still alive. But if not, we're going to start a panel to make sure this happens. You are going to be referred to as motorcycle historian, because really, like, to say once you've been on these shows, you hosted and co-hosted with Cannonball for a while, and then you were on Coast to Coast, and the amount of information that you carry along, like it really is. We started that segment, all of us together, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but you really have about 10,000 words for every picture that you take. So I seriously believe, like, someday they need to give you that title, that you become motorcycle historian.
We should knight him in Sturgis this year.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Michael,
That is a great idea.
if Mark's coming at you with a knife, don't trust it.
It'll be a
buddy.
sword. Trust me.
I'm telling you now.
And I'll tell you, if there's anybody I'm coming out with a knife, Michael, you're probably the only one that would be safe. So you're good.
Sir Michael.
All right.
I have to say, Mike is really a great co-host, so I'm lucky to have him.
Well, thank you, Chris.
We
It's
all
wonderful
are.
to be on with you.
We
It's
all
know,
are.
it's
a
actually-
sister show.
It has been really cool. I guess we'll get this into the hour, but it's just been great having Tuesday night to visit with so many people through COVID, because being isolated, it's our night out on the town to catch up with old friends, meet new people.
Yep.
Very cool.
And last but not least, our lower right-hand corner square, the
Hello.
also world famous from behind the lens, but a lens of a different style, Miss Rebecca Cunningham. How you doing, Texas?
I'm good. It's great to be here. I guess I'm supposed to introduce myself somehow. Let's see. I'm a video geek. I tag along with the Motorcycle Cannonball every other year, and my job there is to stick a camera in participants' faces during high-stress moments. And and otherwise, I'm also the Geek Out partner with Chris, so he has somebody who can talk about video live stream geeky stuff with. So that's what I do.
Rebecca is often seen in the sidecar, they call it at the Motorcycle Cannonball.
Yes.
And she brings in a segment called A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words, brings in videos from the individual riders from Cannonball and the Chase, and it's a really good part of the program. So that is our entire panel. One more time, I want to thank you guys all for being here and helping us put together a killer show.
Okay, good night. Thanks.
No, not quite yet, Mr. Banks.
Oh, okay.
We got work to do.
Hey, look, Evan Favreau is in the house.
Evan Favario.
Evan Favreau.
Hey, don't you have work to do? What the hell are you doing staring at a screen right now?
All right.
Evan.
Well,
Oh,
listen, if you guys will just hold tight for a minute, we're going to just go into some of our regular stuff real quick for anybody that's been waiting for it. This is Cycle Source Magazine's Shop Talk. We come to you live every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're wondering what it is the first time you're tuning in, Shop Talk is 90 to 120 minutes of all the bullshit we can fit. Some entertainment, some information. We usually start the whole thing off with a little program we call the news. First up in the news tonight, and to big applause, we find out that Bike Week will happen in Daytona Beach this year. Thank God. Vote that happened Wednesday night finds that the city has issued permits for businesses taking part in Bike Week. Tons of information here if you want to go to the clickorlando.com news. It'll tell you all about it, but basically everything's wide open. They're going to be running. There are some restrictions. Heather, you were actually telling me about one of these that's going to play in the favor of the local business owners.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool. So far, the only restrictions that I've seen and read about is indoor venues will be reduced down to 60%. And that's indoor venues that are part of the Daytona Bike Week master plan. So that means if you change your business for the week of Daytona, you have to be part of the master plan. But if you operate a local establishment the other, 50 weeks a year, and you're not changing your business to accommodate Bike Week, everything is business as usual for you. You can operate at 100%. You don't have to go through all the hearings and all the rigmarole. So like all those local businesses that are there, no matter what, should have a fair shake at a good event.
Which is actually pretty cool,
Don't you think they were a little bit concerned that whenever they said, hey, Bike Week's open, first event since COVID, that they were going to get a massive rush of people and like Florida was going to get pushed into the ocean? Everybody's going to hit the brakes at the same time, pulling into Florida. It's going to slide into the water. Like, there's going to be so many people that want to go.
A good event.
Huh? Yeah, what do you say about that? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that a legit question? Do we want to say how we think Daytona is going to be, or are we just?
Oh,
No,
I think it's going to be off the charts.
We definitely have to be legit about it. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing here. And like Jason Holman just said, thank God.
Yeah.
I think we're all in a position where, we want to be safe. Everybody's still waiting for all of this to shake out. And it seems like we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. But man, for business, for personal sanity,
for life in general.
Yeah, man. It's going to be nice to get something back. It's been an awful long time since a lot of us have been to an event. Hopefully this all works out in favor of everybody being safe and having a good time.
Amen. Personal responsibility. The theme continues.
Moving on. Next up in the news, and 2021 Harley-Davidson global model release. Now, this was the first time that Harley-Davidson did this type of, it was almost like an iPhone release, right? Except it was a global deal where they did a virtual release of all their products for 2021. Throughout 2020 and into 2021, most of us had to react and adjust to businesses in uncharted territory during unprecedented times. Well, Harley-Davidson is no different. Knowing they had a new model year to launch and knowing that there was a message to get out to the world, they had to find a way to do it responsibly and safely. For the first time in the century-plus history of the company, on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, the team at the factory hosted a global virtual model launch. In a statement from Harley-Davidson, this global virtual event marks the beginning of a new era for the motorcycle company. Now, as to the products, we didn't put out a whole lot about this, figuring that we were going to talk about it here. There's some cool stuff, but there's also some questions that were raised because I think a lot of us were really, really waiting to see the Pan American, right?
Yeah.
I know, and they're waiting until I think it's February 22nd for that, and they're doing the same thing. They're doing a global virtual release that you do have to register for to catch the live event. But I think it's just their way to react and get the news out all at once. But
yeah,
I'm not sure.
What?
I think I saw that when I watched the video. I think at that point 50,000 people had watched it.
Yeah.
So
what did you like? What did you like? Like Mike Robb just said, no streets anymore? ?
I have to be honest. I watched it kind of half-assed while I was doing a whole bunch of other work. I like street golf.
That's code for Heather's mother's been here this week.
No.
Here, I'll hit.
That's code for I'm your partner, and there's always 5 million things to do.
The Street Bob 114 highlights from the cruiser models. 8 Harley-Davidson Softail models offer pure riding experience, combine modern power and technology with authentic American styling. Hot rod baggers. I mean, the hot rod bagger movement forges on. A lot of news in CVO models with next level audio, but not
no snowmobile.
Jason Sims, I thought was a pretty well. Wait a minute, Jason is here with us. Here, go ahead.
Damn, I should have kept my keyboard silent. I didn't think you were gonna call on me.
No, go ahead.
No, you have something to add more than we do. Like I said, it's been a crazy week here at Cycle Source HQ. So,
My opinion is I thought it was a pretty good release on Harley's behalf. I really think this is the way that the future is going anyway, with this kind of technology and being able to release it to not just dealers but to everybody all at once. And I really thought the videos that they put into it were well thought out and shared some kind of timeless things, with the real people that were involved with it, and then getting to see some of the passion with the employees also of what they put into the products and why they did what they did. And, ultimately trying to listen to the people, I guess.
Right on. Heather, see, that's how a real professional delivers the news. And by the way, Jason can never come on our show again.
Wait a minute.
Oh, the irony.
Never mind.
The irony. We're going to get to that.
Irony.
We're going to get to that later. All right. Well, this whole thing's going to hell in a
It's going to be a tough run, I can tell you that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just for the record, everybody, this was Chris's idea. Oh, wait a minute, that way on this.
That was the thought.
This was Chris's idea,
Oh,
so when it goes to complete hell, it's his fault.
All right. Well, listen, with that, we're going to break away from the news. There's a ton of other news for us to get to, but I feel guilty having, 5 other people on hold waiting to do what we asked them to do here tonight. So we're going to break to some stuff from the magazine. And like I said, this is something we do every year with Cycle Source. The year in review is our favorite issue because everything moves so fast. And maybe it's because I'm getting a little bit older, but every year it just seems like those 12 months clock past quicker and quicker, and taking one whole issue and just looking at the year and say, okay, what happened? Who did what? Who deserves a little extra credit? Who's not with us anymore? We do all that in that issue, but one of the best things that we do is we give credit to the people who stood out among the crowd of their peers for that calendar year. And we're going to go right now to announcing the awards. If you guys will, one at a time. We're going to start off with accessory product of the year. This year that went to Memphis Shades, and definitely deserving, definitely a sign of the time with as much as all the performance motorcycle, the stunt bike kids that are riding with the fairings and everything. Memphis Shades has really reacted to that in a great way with their line of products, and this was our readers' vote for accessory product of the year.
Looks pretty bitchin' on that Indian.
Yeah, it does, right? And it's so versatile. I think we're doing a project coming up that we can't quite talk about yet, but I think we're using a Memphis Shade, right?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes. It's going to be almost like
a little out of our wheelhouse, but it'll be fun.
Almost a War Pony Part 2. Okay. Moving on. This next category is apparel product of the year. This year's apparel product of the year, voted by the readers of Cycle Source magazine, goes to Hot Leathers for their new line of logo flannels. Hot Leather flannels, apparel product of the year.
Everybody loves a flannel.
That Heather's modeling right now, right?
I do. I actually have a couple, and I genuinely like them. And I know everything that Hot Leathers went through to make their flannel. They spent, I want to say, 18 months to 2 years going back and forth with different samples from different companies to make sure they could put out a quality, cost-effective product. They're very comparable to some of the other popular brands in our industry. Their price point is a little bit cheaper. I think they come in right around $40. And it's just, I've been really happy with them. I have about 4 right now that I truly dig. And they come in women's, men's, and they actually have an armored flannel too, which is pretty cool.
I think they look pretty bitchin'. I mean, if anybody from Hot Leathers is out there watching, I'll wear one.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We like flannel.
Jason wants to be a test model.
Jason, did you call Mark to coordinate the flannel?
You could be seen every Wednesday night right here on this channel with one of your great flannels.
Can I push Jason out of the way? I want to push Jason out of the way and say, no, I'll be the model. I'll even put mascara on.
We can do male, female models. So,
Okay, so the next
Nice
question.
One thing nice about getting back to flannels, guys, is how we're getting back to the way it was 40 years ago too. When you look back at old pictures, and you see people, if they wore T-shirts, they didn't have logos on them, or maybe it was the shop they worked for, and flannels were so popular. It's kind of nice and refreshing to not always be selling something like a billboard, moving billboard, isn't it?
Yeah, flannels are coming back. All the kids want to wear them. I still have my 40-year-old flannel.
Dude, I'm wearing one right now. This flannel I'm wearing right now, I wore in high school. So,
and it's time for us to have a talk about that.
No, it's not.
New one.
Mark, you and Jason called each other a coordinator.
Yeah, we most certainly did. I was kudos on his flannel he has going on. I always have one on. So.
Welcome to the Flannel Channel.
Heather, didn't you have something extra for the show tonight from Hot Leathers too, or is that later in the hour?
I have 4 flannels to give away.
Okay.
I have 2 men's flannels and 2 women's flannels to give away. I honestly need to figure out how we want to give them away. What do we want to do? Do we want to ask a trivia question or?
Why don't you let me come up with a trivia question?
Yes.
Chris, where are you?
I'm here.
Which Chris?
This Chris?
I'm trying to figure out my fingers.
This Chris?
Boy Chris, girl Chris.
That Chris.
Okay.
Chris Simmons.
Yeah.
She's great with trivia questions, by the way. I just let you know that.
The pressure is on.
Yeah.
Well, I asked a trivia question on my show, and no one ever got the answer to it. So
that was a hard question.
See?
Yeah, I could ask that one again. Who was the first person to write an article for the Enthusiast magazine in 1916?
Oh,
I know that.
I know you know it because you know everything. You have the answer sheet.
Wasn't this a trivia? Wasn't this a coast to coast trivia?
Yeah, it was.
I think we did on something. No one had the answer, but Jason knows because Jason had the answer sheet from the
Okay, let's see people chime in.
Okay, guys. So listen.
While they're chiming in, why don't we move on to another award?
Well, everybody pay attention. I want to make sure you understand. There's 4 flannels up, 2 men's and 2 women's, for the first people that answer this question from Chris. Chris, say it one more time for us so they know what the question is.
Who's the first person to write an article for the Enthusiast magazine back in 1916?
So the first article by Enthusiast.
Yes, Enthusiast
1916.
magazine. Oh, I think I have that one, Rob. I think there's an article that Pat did in that one, maybe, and my husband in that one.
Okay, the next award in the best ofs. This is I'm particularly fond of this because for a long time, what drew me to motorcycles was the art, and it was kind of like the lowbrow art culture that surrounded motorcycles, whether it was photography or painting or what have you. But this is our way to pay tribute to all of the artists, because believe it or not, in our culture today, you want to think immediately of Dave Mann when it comes to motorcycle art, but there are so many artists. Every year it just seems like more and more, and the level of talent is just getting out of hand. So we want to give this award out. The artist of the year voted on by Cycle Source magazine readers for 2020 was Stephen Gibson of Air, Oil, and Lead.
Nice.
Okay. So I'm never supposed to be like more partial to anyone than the other because it's the media, but Stephen Gibson is by far one of the most incredible artists that I think I have ever seen.
It's unreal. It's unreal. His airbrush work looks like a picture that you can walk into. Yeah. Like, it doesn't even look like photography. It looks like you could literally reach inside of it. I suggest anyone who's watching this right now, Google that cat and check out his work because it is unbelievable.
As we're going along, I'm putting links in the comments to all the award winners. So if you want to see what we're talking about, just click on that link. There is a link for airoilandlead.com, so you can go check out his work. It's awe-inspiring.
It's very unique.
That's a word I can use.
There's a helmet with Arlen Ness's likeness on it that it's just, you don't even know you're looking at a helmet. You kind of wonder what it is.
Yeah.
That's right on his website. He's got some real cool stuff. He's got a couple of paintings he's offered. I know he painted one of my photographs of Indian Larry, and then he has another one, 2 that he's offering right now on his site that are pretty cool.
Right on. All right, so we'll move on from that one. Next up is Builder of the Year. voted by Cycle Source Magazine readers, 2020 Builder of the Year, and this is hard to even argue with Mr. Bill Dodge.
Yay. Good choice.
Now, Michael, I know you've known Bill for a long time. I mean, you've watched him for years, correct?
I think that I got to know him best. I think it was 2003 or 4. I invited him into my exhibition when it was still at the Journey Museum. And he came in, and that was the first time I saw one of his big tire, knobby tire bikes that were very refreshing and different at the time. Really, at that time, you'd never seen anything like that in the custom world, it was very cool to see. And of course, since then, it's 17 years later, we've seen lots more people sort of paying an homage to that. But he's done a beautiful job. His attention to detail is incredible. He always puts great little details that you could hunt through on his bike and look very closely at. So whenever his bikes are on display at my exhibitions, I know you see people looking very close, like getting on the ground and looking up underneath. But beautiful bikes, and at the same time, there's a simplicity of form that I think makes the bike so great. So he's a great builder. His quality and attention to detail is fantastic, but his overall style is one that feels it's simple. It has a certain strength to it. You want to just jump on the bike and ride it. They look like bikes that you want to ride every one of them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Wonderful builder.
You can guarantee that when you see one of Bill's bikes that it's not overkill, but it's definitely something unique. Every one.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree. It would be very easy to say just based on the year that Bill had, because Bill had a horrible accident.
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't know, and a couple of you have already asked about this, and his recovery is going well. It's up to the family to report that, but his recovery is going very well. And that aside, when you look at, let's go back and look at the picture that we featured, his announcement. When you look at the picture of this motorcycle, this is one of the things that makes me put Bill in that Builder of the Year category all the time. That's a twin cam.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Bill was one of the first guys to really do anything old school retro with twin cam motorcycles, and like he's always had that knack, like Michael said. He was the first guy using Husky dirt bike front ends on V-twin motorcycles, and using weird combinations of metal, and just really a passionate builder, and the way he goes about his craft is a unique experience. So absolutely 100% deserves it in my mind.
Definitely makes you want to ride his bike. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. One thing, somebody just sent this to me. It's actually a client of mine, and I'm sending it to Bill. It was going to be a surprise. Maybe he's watching, but I have to show it off. It's so cool. So this is, how's that? Is that perfect for Bill Dodge?
Yeah.
It's called the Incredibell Bling, and it's a bicycle bell. So it's a bike bell.
Oh,
Wow.
Cool.
I love that.
Is that perfect for bling cycles?
It is.
That's
It is.
so cool.
Okay, so our next category is Craftsman of the Year. Now, this is traditionally a category that would see leather workers, engravers, sculptors. Sculptors could kind of fit into artists and into craftsmen, but craftsmen, seat toolers, leather tooling on seats, and this year's Craftsman of the Year goes to Mr. Paul Cox, voted by the readers of Cycle Source Magazine. Paul Cox, Craftsman of the Year.
He's super well deserved. This guy can do anything exceptionally.
He really can.
Right?
I visited Paul in his shop since he moved out of Brooklyn, and I went up to his shop upstate New York there and spent a night there. And it is phenomenal what he's done, and sort of rebuilding and recreating a life for himself in the country, basically. That's just phenomenal. And everything about his life there is, it seems to me like art, whether it's the building he's in, how they're decorating it and doing it, he and his wife. It's going to be a gallery and showroom for himself, but a gallery to show off other people's art. And of course, he does his leather tooling and all the different things he does. He could be nominated for any one of the different categories, whether it's his knives and bikes or anything. But he's really got a great place up there, and I can't wait to go see what he's done with it through this past year.
And I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but that was the story of how Paul found his way to New York, was through art. You know, through like traditional art. He found his way to New York as I want to say commercial artist. You know, and he was painting and doing everything, and you know, motorcycles were kind of like his hobby, and he loved it and everything. But he really went to New York City looking for a career in art. And you know, what makes this perfect for me, and we talked about this in pre-show a little bit, is the fact that, like so many of us through COVID, even though this happened for Paul shortly before COVID, like so many of us through COVID have had to redefine, you know, who we are and what we do, you know, personally, professionally, and everything. Here we see Paul Cox at kind of the end of the New York City chopper heyday that, you know, was the just Psycho Cycles and Indian Larry and all this stuff, and Paul now moving out of the city, moving to upstate, starting another chapter, but he's still
the same guy.
The craft goes with him, the art goes with him. You know, it's almost a perfect time to name him Craftsman of the Year.
Yeah, there's something else that I think Paul represents, and that's maybe a shift in life in America these days, because I know traveling across the country, especially with Jason on the Cannonball and the Chase, that you know, we go through all these little towns, and so many of them, you know, have imploded and died in so many ways. But there's also room, and I think it's starting to happen around the country, whether it's Paul moving upstate, you have J.P. Rodman taking over an old GM dealership in Raton, New Mexico. I mean, there's these places that are vacant out there that are so ripe. And now, of course, with the internet and easy accessibility to communicate, that you could almost be anywhere. I mean, there's a lot of the work that the people that listening to this show do can be done anywhere. And so I think there's going to be this rebirth, especially coming out of COVID. A lot of places did not make it and won't make it, but I think there's room for young people to achieve so much in the coming years. And maybe a lot of that will be in small town America, and we'll see a certain rebirth in there.
Well, and don't you guys agree? I'm going to put this before the whole panel too. Don't you agree that what COVID kind of gave us while nobody was paying attention was a fresh perspective and a renewed respect for the value of a day? You know, and I think that's what we're really going to see play out in the coming years, is the fact that people are going to go, you know, yeah, I want to have a job and I want to make a living and I want to do these things, but how do I really want to spend my days doing that? You know?
Do you want to spend 3 hours a day commuting again, or maybe find a different way to do it?
No.
I think this will last longer. I was talking to my daughter about this because she worked from home for several months, and this may be the new norm for a lot of people, maybe not to work in the city, and they can live out somewhere further away. You know? So it's a good thing.
We're going to see a lot of changes. I think there will be a lot of good that comes out of it. I mean, it's said that it took this much to happen, but at least there is something positive to look forward to as well.
No. All right. Next category.
Real quick, Drew Woodford got the Chris's trivia question right.
Yeah. Effie Hotchkiss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was our one and only correct answer?
There were some other answers that he got it right.
Yeah, that was the only correct one. So we need another trivia question.
Okay, this
I got it.
Go ahead,
Can I do
Jason.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Do you want something older or something newer?
Your
Or
choice.
something in the middle? How about something in the middle?
How old is Jason Sims? There, go.
Sexy Simsy.
All right.
Sexy
For the
Sims.
people out there, I've got a question for you. Tell me the model of the Harley Davidson that has folding handlebars.
Oh, look at him go.
Wow.
If this was an Indian,
And hey,
I'd
guess
know.
what? I'll give you a clue.
Well, let's.
It's anywhere from 1903 to 2021.
And it's little.
As he narrows it down.
And it's little.
It's what?
It's little.
See, that's what I was saying. If it was an Indian, I'd know right off the bat. I'd know this if it was an Indian.
Oh, you want an Indian question?
No, not yet.
No.
Here's another possible question suggested by Evan Favaro, and he's saying, what food is stuck in Mark's beard today?
It couldn't be. I haven't eaten yet today. So, Evan, You gotta get a hold of me first before you have questions like that. I'll eat when I go home tonight. Some of us actually work all day long, not sit on a computer, Evan.
Well, Jason, that one wasn't too hard. Somebody got it already.
Who got
Yeah,
it?
but they haven't really put the model number.
Oh, the model number.
Was it Evans?
Model
Was it Evan's answer? No, I mean Evan's answer. He honestly answered Aramachi.
Well, that's close.
It's
Okay.
kind of close, but no.
No, but somebody said Shortster.
Oh.
Oh,
That is the model,
That is the nickname, but that is not the model.
right?
Huh.
Correct.
Somebody said Aramaki, but that wasn't even made back then, was it? Or did they make them then? How old's that brand?
Oh, he said anything in Harley Davidson's entire history, so he
his hint
covered.
was a trick question. Was
Yeah.
a trick.
Jason,
He just wanted the shirt for himself. We know what he's doing.
He wants his shirt.
I want the shirt.
Mike Robb, Shotster 90. Okay, you guys keep trying. We're gonna move on to the next category. Next up was this was custom bike of the year, and this is based on all of the motorcycles that we featured throughout the year. Between 60 and 72 motorcycles that we feature in 12 issues of Cycle Source magazine. This was our reader's pick for custom bike of the year. This goes out to Mr. Xavier Mariel from Providence Cycle Works for his motorcycle Grace.
It's pretty nice.
Beautiful bike, beautiful bike.
It is.
Now, I should also preface this with saying that was also Easy Rider's bike of the year for what? Was it for 2020?
2019.
Same, I believe.
Yeah.
Because that was announced like in January instead.
Did that thing have a pan shovel in it?
Yeah, this the great thing about this motorcycle, and I was kind of teasing Xavier in an interview not too long ago, but that was an actual Larry motor that he scored.
That's you can't go wrong, but
Yeah, I said that to him in an interview. I said, hey, look, the bike's great and everything. I said, but you almost can't screw up. You're starting with an Indian Larry motor. You can't build a bad bike from there.
there was some golden hands on that build. Let me tell you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and to say that's an exotic motor combination is to say the least. So congratulations.
Beautifully
to
well
Xavier.
done and fun to photograph and fun to follow his career too in the last few years. Isn't it the way he's come on so strong so quick?
It really is.
And developed his second passion along with his music drumming career.
Yep.
Where do you think that bike is now?
I think
I
it's
think he
safe.
decided to not let it go. I
Yeah.
believe.
I don't think I'd let that one go either. It would have to be a special caveat where you said to the new owner, hey, look, you're getting everything but the motor, and I'll put any other motor that you want in it. But yeah, absolutely. Okay, moving on to custom product of the year, voted by Cycle Source magazine readers for 2020. Custom product of the year is going to Denver's Choppers for their new Narrow Springer.
Nice.
Everything.
So how I'm just curious here now, how different is this from Mondo's past offerings? Did he have a narrow springer before?
You know, this one was something new that I saw on Stacy McCleary's bike when we got to Sturgis this year. And it's really just like, you know, for those of us building that traditional 70s, like real skinny chopper and that whole deal, it is the front end, man. That front end is so badass. It is so badass. I'm going to show it one more time just because I'm hot for it. And one's hanging in my garage right now.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And this is the thing. I should announce this to everybody. So for every one of the big anniversaries, you know, our 10, our 15, our 20 coming up, our 25th anniversary, we're going to be building a motorcycle to commemorate that anniversary. It will feature that Springer front end on a sweet panhead, a 49 panhead.
Was that by any chance was that paying homage to anything from the past or something totally different? Where do you think it came from?
You know, I'm not really sure if it's anything from the past. I think it's just I think it's just like, you know, the finishing touches and what has always been, you know, from everything that ever was Denver's, and, you know, from the people who, I mean, these are the people who invented Springer front ends, that invented choppers, like, you know, so I think this is just the next step of a piece of artwork on a motorcycle. You
And
know,
on
because,
top of that, skinny is so popular. I mean, the past couple of years, obviously, Michael, what's the skinny? Skinny is so popular.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Very cool.
It is in-
Did we get any answers?
Oh yeah, we've got a bunch. I just don't know which one. I don't know what the right one is. Jason.
Well, here's one answer. Is somebody said mac and cheese?
I like mac and cheese. Haven't eaten
That's
yet,
from
Michael.
Nate Brown said mac and cheese.
That they're answering the Mark's beard question. Damn it, we're talking about the motorcycle.
Is that the trivia question now? Was it
No,
Mark Beard?
no. Jason, did anybody get it right yet?
He wants the
I
shirt.
did
He doesn't
one
care.
Correct answer up there. So it was the Harley X90 or the Shortster.
Oh, right on. So
So
that's
Mike Rock said Shortster X90.
I've
So
seen a
what was
couple
Yeah.
X90s.
Wasn't it the Z90?
The X90.
What was the
Can you
Z90?
can you explain what this looks like, or does anybody have a picture to hold up of it?
here. Let me see if I
It's
can
like
get
a
it up.
mid-size. I got one right here.
Mike Brusso also
Wait
said
a second. Let
X90.
me get you up on screen, Jason.
Let me pull up a picture.
Or you can search.
It kind of looks like that.
Oh, it's the bike from my bodyguard.
Yep. I want one.
Oh, Mike Brusco said he said it first. Uh-oh.
Oh, who's gonna get it?
He did, I think.
Well,
He
he
did.
said
I'm looking at
Shortster.
my comments. He
I
said
think you
Brusso.
should give it to all of them.
Yeah.
I don't have that authority.
You know what?
He said
No.
X90.
Listen, go ahead and give it to him and to Drew.
That's two of them. You still have one left.
Well, I have 2 men's and 2 women's.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Hey, give me the guy to Hot Leather's number. I'll call him.
Heather, give one to each of them, and we'll buy the second one.
Okay, so you guys, Mike Robb and Mike Brusso, DM Cycle Source with your email address, because Hot Leathers will let you pick out your pattern and your shirt and your size and all that good stuff.
Okay, Ashley.
Because they're awesome.
Ashley, a Buell sister, says she got it too. So send her one of the women's,
All right, so Ashley, you do the. Well, I have your information.
and that means we have one woman's left.
Yep.
just a bounce back here on the front end. Mondo is online. He's in the house, and he says, "Thank you guys. I'm very honored."
Oh, right
he's,
on.
We love you, Mondo.
listening in. That's awesome, Mondo. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Mondo's one of my favorite people.
He's going to have to send Chris another front end because I stole that one.
No, you did not.
Don't listen to him, Mondo.
Hey, I was all nervous. I actually had to call Mondo last week because whose show was I on? I think it might have been Coast to Coast. I commented for a minute and I said, I saw Mondo was on watching Coast to Coast, and I said, "Hey Mondo, just so you know, I'm ripping off that Springer and putting it on a bike that we're building in the shop." And I was like, I sat there all week because there's been this mass of people ripping off other people's parts and like people being really upset about it. And I called him up and I said, "Hey brother, listen, I didn't really mean I was ripping off your Springer. Like I'm building a little mini bike for this thing in Daytona. It's a charity deal, but I wanted to make sure he knew, like." You know, look, we're good. You don't want to have that mistake.
Wow.
All right.
Speaking of mini bikes, somebody chimed in somewhere. I don't know if I copied it, but somebody wanted to know if that fairing would work on a mini bike. Thinks you should try it.
Mini bike races in Daytona coming up, baby.
Oh, I know.
I think you need one of those fairings on there just for the sheer speed that you attain. And
We'll call Memphis Shades and see what they can work up for us.
Right.
there you
So
go.
I have one more woman's shirt to give away. Should we do another?
Who has a good question? Rob?
How about a Cycle Source question?
No, Rob? No?
Yeah, Cycle Source.
All right. So it's going to be a 2-part question. What year did Chris start Cycle Source magazine, and what did he do for a living when he started Cycle Source magazine?
Can I answer that?
Oh, yeah, I can't answer. I'm not- I
Yeah,
don't
Rebecca,
talk.
you know.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get you a shirt, but you know.
This is a 2-part question.
All right. In the meantime, the next question on Hollywood Squares is about Fat Fanny. Fat Fanny was so fat. No, I was
That's
not
the
a
match
janitor.
game.
Damn it! Like damn near. I was a
That's
bouncer
the
of some
match
sort.
game.
That is the match game. All right, next category is event of the year. Since there weren't very many, this is a narrow category, but Evan Favar, he was a hairdresser. You're killing me.
Dude, he's on a roll.
Oh, look
Is
at
it
that.
Anthony I wonder if he's been drinking.
Porn star, 1997.
Porn
Wait.
star,
Anthony
yes.
Robinson.
I knew it.
Anthony, have you been talking to Rich Petoniak?
Jason Sims.
Okay,
Wow.
so listen, I can't tell you guys who got what, but both of the right answers are in the chat right now, but they're not
Nobody
from the
has
same
both
person.
parts right
Yeah.
yet, though.
You were a fluffer?
Well, I was, but not when I started the magazine, so that was
Milwaukee
Oh
Mike
my
says you're a
God.
guard in a women's prison.
Close enough.
Yeah.
That's close enough to being a winner right there.
That
No,
was another
so
time.
both of the answers are up there. They're just not answered together by the same person.
Is
Okay.
this right? Ashley from Buell Sisters, 1999, bounced at a strip club.
Nope,
No,
Nope.
No, not it.
she didn't get it.
and actually, you already
Well,
won her. Knock it off.
There's
While
a
they're coming
fluffer
in,
at
why
a
don't we
strip club.
While
tell
these
us.
answers are all coming in, why don't we go on to another award?
Okay, next category is for event of the year. Like I said, it was a narrow category, but unarguably picked by the readers of Cycle Source magazine for 2020 event of the year, the Sturgis Rally. 80th anniversary of Sturgis, and came at a time of the year where I think we all needed a little faith that things were gonna, we were gonna see the end of the darkness and see our way out. And
Whether anybody liked it or not.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
That true pioneer spirit, as you might add.
Oh my
the
God.
enduring
Gotta do it.
pioneer spirit.
Gotta do this. Where's
The
Pat
enduring
Jansen
pioneer
at?
spirit.
The enduring pioneer spirit.
Let's all say it together. Ready?
The enduring pioneer spirit.
So Jason was an integral
Pat
part
Jansen
of
just got a headache.
rally. I want to hear how Jason feels about that, because he worked really hard for those couple, for
Jason,
that event.
We did. We worked hard for almost a whole year. I mean, it got really, really hard come February of last year. And, it was nobody really knew what was going to happen and how many people were going to show up. And, I was surprised, 2 weeks out from the event of how many people and how much excitement there was for it. And, I'm still astonished to this day of how many people actually showed up in Sturgis. It felt like business as normal almost.
Yep. 400,000, right?
Yeah.
460.
And it felt, it actually felt better to me this year for the fact that, it wasn't as commercialized. People kind of went back to the old school, the roots of, getting intimate in their campgrounds with partying and hanging out and actually riding the Black Hills. And, because all the events weren't there. There were some select events here and there. There wasn't the big concerts. It was really old school Sturgis, the way it felt. So,
yeah, that part was great.
And with no complaints, from anybody. I think everybody understood of what we were all going through at the time of trying to get employees, just trying to get the doors open, trying to keep everybody healthy and safe. And, it was just amazing of the response from the people of how they treated us all.
No. And, I have to take a minute too, because when we get to Woman of the Year, South Dakota's own governor, Kristi Noem, was one of the finalists in this category for Woman of the Year. It says a lot that we live in a day and age where a group of motorcyclists, a motorcycle community, would vote for a governor of a state for, best motorcycles Woman of the Year. You know what I mean? And I think that was a credit to the work that she did, not only on the 80th anniversary of Sturgis, but that she did for her state and her people. And these were hard times, and nobody's sure what the right way to go. But she stood by her convictions, and I give her all the credit in the world for that. So
So wait, Mike Robb says votes for he calls it the pimp ball. Anybody who missed that was in Sturgis,
It was
you
awesome.
missed probably one of the best nights in Sturgis.
the Players Ball.
Yes, sir. That was fun.
Dude, the best was watching Aaron Green and his girl show up decked out. Like I never see Aaron do stuff like that. And they had a blast, man.
Yeah.
Oh, his hair was down, everything, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
were-
I like the solid gold dancers personally.
Yeah, they were
Those
fun.
two guys like won the night.
Yep. All right, moving on to the next category. This is Motorcycles Man of the Year, and voted by our Cycle Source Magazine readers, 2020 Man of the Year, Mr. Charlie Brechtel, Good Time Charlie. Very sadly, we're given this award posthumously, of course, as Charlie lost his life in a motorcycle accident. All of you guys watching from Chopper Town will recognize Charlie from his BIC, Bikers Inner Circle, radio show that he did through Chopper Town. Musician,
One of a kind.
motorcycle ambassador.
Yeah.
Absolutely a good call on that one. And this category,
We sure do miss Charlie, though.
Oh, right.
Sturgis
Yeah.
is not the same without him. I know that that Friday night on the big stage where he belonged, every first Friday night, I'll be thinking of him for sure.
yep. Yes, sir.
And he was really one
Big
of the
loss.
first people to do the biker, the radio thing and the interviews. And I just really admired him. He had so much passion, and just, like I said, we'll miss him for sure. Definitely.
That was
Big loss.
when you say that he was the first one. I'm talking about like maybe before we even broke into the 2000s. Charlie was already doing internet radio and had the foresight to see where all of this stuff was going. And even myself, we had been doing ShopTalk for quite a few years, and Charlie kind of gave us the nod with Chopper Town and brought us along with the Chopper Town crew. And he was pretty well respected in the community that he was all about. He was all about community. He was all about the us guys and those guys, he used to say all the time. And I'm going to miss him a lot.
Yeah. Motorcyclism.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, this next category, I am pleased to announce this is the media release of the year as it applies to the motorcycle industry and community that it serves, and that goes out to our very own host of Coast to Coast, Chris Simmons, Mr. Michael Lichter.
Hey. Wow.
So
Thank you. What an honor.
Well deserved.
the official
Thank you
read
very
of this, the official read of this goes: Coast to Coast was a brand new show that was started during the COVID pandemic and offered motorcycle riders a welcome relief of the humdrums of lockdown to gather together in community.
There you go.
Thank you.
Wow.
True.
I feel very
That
honored.
pioneering spirit. And the enduring
Well, I have to-
pioneer spirit.
Yeah, I have to say, I love Cannonball Chronicles so much too. I mean, Jason and Rob do such a great job. We
Nah,
kind
they
of have
suck.
people on, and no, I love you guys. I love your show, but thank you very much. And again, Mike, you're so much a part of the show. We're going to have our 25th show next week. Can you believe it?
Right on.
Wow. 25th anniversary. Amazing.
Our 25th anniversary. And Rob was on the first show with me with Ori. Remember?
That's
in
true.
July.
That is true.
That's right.
Well, and
It's a lot of fun.
And Chris, Beth says congratulations.
Oh, tell Beth thank you. And congratulations for being
just did.
married for 34 years, you guys.
Yeah, 34 years.
Wow.
They said it wouldn't last.
And everybody got quiet.
They said it wouldn't. They did say it wouldn't last.
The important thing to mention here is that both Coast to Coast and Cannonball Chronicles were up for this. It was a pretty wide category. There was a lot of stuff in there. When we talk about media release of the year, we're talking about websites, podcasts, multicasts like these are,
Movies,
music,
books.
writing, movies. Yeah. So it's a pretty wide category. And it was awesome to see both of these shows there. So congratulations to all our hosts.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
So much.
It's a
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
I've learned so much over the course of Cannonball Chronicles and Coast to Coast. It's been such a neat experience to be able to be a part of it. I can't wait to see what they bring in 2021.
Well, what's really neat about it is this is like Chris Callan has really taken this whole media to a new level. And then if you watch
Yeah.
television and we're doing stuff with Zoom and whatever, they're worse. They're worse at it. They make
Oh yeah,
they
definitely.
make mistakes. They make mistakes, and I'm going and I'm yelling at the TV. Chris, you got to see this. Chris, you got to see this. They're messing up. They're messing up.
Yeah.
I love now that like we'll watch a movie now, but like they're out of sync. They don't have their frame rate right.
Right.
Yeah. It's
How
I
much have
never wanted to know that stuff.
How much have you guys learned in the past year? I want to talk to the ShopTalk people.
Oh.
How much have you guys learned in the past year? Forget about the new shows because that's, you just come up with an idea and you put up a new show. But what have you guys learned? I mean, Chris Callan, my God, it's amazing you can even stand up. You must not get any sleep at all.
No, you know what, man? I have, and you guys are all proof of this. I have really, really good people around me that have taken pity on me year after year, knowing that I have passion for something that I may not have the ability to do, and you let me grow into it, So when I came to each one of you individually and said, hey, we're going to do this thing, and it's awesome, and then for the first couple, I'm pulling my hair out, and why isn't the audio working, and the picture's turned off, and the goddamn camera, and that was just last week.
I was just going to say, you were doing that before the show started tonight.
But I think the important thing here, I can remember whenever I went to Zach from Choppertown and I said, hey man, I got an idea for these other shows. And, for a while there through COVID, we were doing, Coast to Coast on Tuesday, Cannonball on Wednesday, Bike Night Live on Thursday. We were doing Cyber Swap on Sundays and then Shop Talk. So 5 shows a week, right? And he was like, well, why are you going to do more shows? Why wouldn't you just do more of the same show? And I was like, when I look at the face of motorcycling today,
It's not the same.
well, and I can't cover all that. I'm not gonna be able to speak to the old bike guys the way that Rebecca, Rob, and Jason will. I'm not gonna be able to speak to the audience that Chris and Michael do, or have the same kind of reach. Like I've learned, like Heather, I've learned some of the most amazing stuff. I've been so excited to see the guests that you guys have had and the stories that they've told, and some of it that hasn't applied to me or CycleSource whatsoever, and I've been thrilled to be a part of that. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that I've learned that it all doesn't have to be in the grips of CycleSource magazine. Like, we have such a fantastic community, and all of this information needs to be out there, and we're I think all 3 of us here are just glad to be a part of that vehicle,
for sure.
Mark, what do you think? I haven't heard much out of you tonight. What do you think about all this chaos?
In all reality, I'm probably the least spoken of anybody on this screen right now, for damn sure. I've been around this industry forever, and it's and like Chris said, it's an honor to actually be a part of what's going on here. I don't do nearly what Chris has done over 25 years, or what Heather's doing now in the short but super impactful time that she's been around. I'm more the guy that pushes it and makes sure it gets there, gets set up, gets everything else. But to watch Chris and Michael, and to watch you and Jason do these shows, and like Chris said, bring these people on, see what they have to say that have nothing to do with anything that we normally do, is super cool. So it's an honor for me, because in a lot of senses, I'm usually just the ride along and make sure everything happens. So I really don't, when it comes to stuff like this, I'll sit back and listen to people like Michael and to Chris and now to you and Jason. I'm not the tech guy, or I'm not the know-it-all guy, but I can do every bit of it if you ask me to. So it's just an honor to be a part of it. And like I said, to the group of people that are up on that screen right now, and to all the people that we know, from Bill Dodge to Mondo, and just to be able to be a part of this industry, I couldn't be more thankful to be a part of all this. So that's pretty much where I stand.
When I watch Shop Talk, I always appreciate your input, so it's been kind of exciting for me to get a chance to be on a show with you and actually talk to you.
Well,
So that's kind of neat.
I appreciate that. I'm usually the humor guy. Heather, I think every time my mic clicks up, Heather gets nervous because she's worried about what I'm going to say. So, this is the reason why they usually don't let me out in the crowd, because I usually don't shut up whenever something clicks in my head. So I've been really calm here. I'm the guy that usually jumps out in the middle of the crowd and shuts them all up real quick. So. But no, it's.
That I wish I had a mute button for.
Yeah,
well, we have a saying. It's all right to have an unexpressed thought, though. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, for years they gave me a microphone that just didn't have a cord hooked to it.
So hey, Mitch Bodine just called you the super roadie,
dude. Hey, Mitch has been right there super roadieing with me for years.
The B team,
hey,
baby.
For years, we used to kid me, Kevin Kepi from Lead Sled, and Mitch. Tom, we were the B rate. We were the B team. Anybody else, they'd be fluffing up the big guys, and then here comes the 3 or 4 of us dropping it off, setting it up, making it happen. Then they'd show up, get all the credit, leave, and would clean it all up. And yeah, it was a great crew. And again, I've been in this for 25 years. I've been in motorcycling longer than that. I've drag racing, building bikes and cars. I had no desire. Jeff Cochran told me one time, I'm his hero because I've been in the industry 20 years and nobody knows who the fuck I am. So, that was
That's the best way to
you walk into a room and all the people that you need to know come over, shake your hand, say hello, and everybody else is like, who in the hell's that guy? So, and that's exactly who I like to be. So it works out perfect for me.
All right, well, we got a couple more of these left. Moving on.
Before we go on, though, I would just want to comment that what people are seeing through all of these shows, Bike Night, Coast to Coast, and Cannonball Chronicles, that this just represents a small part of really what goes on at Cycle Source World Headquarters. Because I think what's happened over this last year has given you guys the opportunity to reinvent yourselves and look forward to what the future will bring. Because I think, like I was saying before about maybe people moving to small towns or new businesses opening up, I think a lot of reinvention will happen and just rebranding and reinventing themselves. And I think that's happening here with Cycle Source. They're coming out of this on the other side. You're going to have so much more to offer the readers, the advertisers, really on all fronts, combining all these different things you do. I mean, with your Sprinter that you've modified twice now in a year, that when things open up, you are just so well positioned to go explore all the new stuff that's happening. I really congratulate you for using your time so well.
Totally.
Do you want to know one of the coolest things about the whole thing? And a lot of you guys and 99% of the people out there's probably a small handful of people that actually can do this. In Sturgis, we laughed. Everybody asked me what my favorite part of Sturgis was, and it was to watching Chris's head explode every time something went wrong while we were doing that little documentary. But I do everything. I have a construction company. I have a garage. I've been a mechanic in my whole life. But to watch Chris do the things and overcome the effing potholes that he runs into, with the Sprinter, like Michael said, with the Sprinter last year, I mean, my phone rang 70 times. I had to go down, and he's breaking wrenches, and then I walk over, reach in, take the bolt right out, and he'd be like, what the fuck? And to watch him overcome this and build and do the things that he does, you guys out there don't even know what a genius in all reality this guy. I'd never tell him this to his face because it'll go right to his head. I'm going to have trouble getting him out of these 50 floors we're down here under. But it's amazing that the things that have overcome in the past 25 years, 27 years of this magazine, where it started to where we are today, so humbled to, like I said, to be a part of it. It's super humbling,
I have a new category for awards for next year from Cycle Source, and it should be Renaissance Person of the Year. And to that end, Chris Callan could be the first recipient.
Yeah, right.
And Heather, you got to be sure that happens. 'Cause I don't know of somebody that has tackled so many different things so well, whether it's been engraving an engine because it had to get done, or painting bikes, or building Sprinters out and discovering how to do video casting and whatnot. So. Yeah, and actually that would be a great category for people that are so multifaceted, including like Paul Cox could have been that kind of person as well. There's a number of people that do multiple things. They can't categorize them into one thing, and it could be kind of neat.
But Fish Alcorn would be right up there from Alleyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's another guy.
Thank you very much, Michael. But I do want to say that Chris and I will never, you'll never see our names in the nominations or the voting for that. I mean, it's awards that we give to people that deserve it. So while I appreciate that you won't see our names on those lists,
I understand that, but there could be a write-in.
We'll give it to
No.
There could be an insurgency going on beneath everything.
Oh,
Listen, I keep saying the same thing. This is the greatest thing about motorcycling. Once upon a time, motorcycling saved my life because I was heading in a really bad place, and I met motorcycle people. And these people that were on the fringe of society, that regular society looked as, you know, the crazies, and, you know, they were lunatics, and they taught me respect and honor and to keep my word and how to take care of myself and the people around me. But it was that thing, like, that's what made me want to be a journalist. That's what made me want to tell these stories, and still does today, because I can remember when we got to the national level, and we used to have one feature bike and one tech article and one ride story, and then all of a sudden we're doing 5 feature bikes and 3 tech articles and, you know, 2 ride stories and human interest. And I was like, what are we going to do when we run out of stories? And I, you know, like, seriously, thinking back of that today, I'm like, how could you be such an asshole to say something like, you're never going to run out of those stories? So that is the most beautiful thing about media today. You know, magazines are still going to always have a place, but we have all this other stuff to tell these stories, and we have this great way of all of us to get together to tell them. Why not do it? Let's do it every day, you know?
I don't think you'd survive to do it every day.
I was going to say, Chris, did you just volunteer all of us to do, did you just volunteer yourself to do a daily show?
I would.
You don't want to do that.
I would. I think Heather would divorce me, but.
No, that's actually one thing I've learned over the past year is patience. I definitely learned a lot more patience than I ever thought I had, because for him, the chaos, like, doing all these shows and learning new ways to get the audio right and building motorcycles and the other video work that we're coming out with really soon, which is and I can say incredible because Chris is the man behind it, and he's done outstanding stuff. That craziness is what keeps him sane. Like, without that chaos, oh please.
I think that's indicative of our culture. A lot of the people in our culture, you know.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah, man.
Without that chaos, do squirrels jump out of the shed and hit Chris on the head, or what?
No. Without that chaos, the only other time in my life that I haven't had that chaos, there was copious amounts of illegal drugs.
Well, hold on. We can't say that because Heather has a video, if she still has it, from me and Chris at the shop trying to get a bat out of the office. It has to be pretty freaking phenomenal. I've never seen it, but we had umbrellas and 2x4. It was, that little bat kicked our ass. That's all I have to tell you.
And we were stone sober.
Well, you might have been.
Oh God.
So, well, I guess you guys aren't tennis players then, huh?
No. No. All right, let's move on to these last couple of these. This is for Performance Product of the Year, as voted by the Cycle Source magazine readers for 2020. Performance Product of the Year goes to the Screaming Eagle stage kits for the Milwaukee 8s. I don't know a lot about Milwaukee 8s, so I can tell you, right off of the rip from the factory, they're impressive as hell, so I can only imagine. Okay, and moving on.
Good talk.
Next brother. Next award.
Next category is for Pinup of the Year. We do a pinup every month in the magazine. This is one of my favorite parts of garage art. It has been since I was a little kid. In the back room of every body shop that my stepfather ever had or worked in had a plethora of pinups. And in that tradition, we put one in the magazine every month. This was Pinup of the Year for 2020, as voted by Cycle Source magazine readers. It goes to Stephanie Infante, April 2020 issue. You can go check it out if you like. We're going to move straight from that into the next category, which is the production motorcycle of the year. Production Motorcycle of the Year, voted by Cycle Source Magazine readers for 2020, was the Harley Davidson Lowrider S. This motorcycle for me, I have to talk about this for just a second. You know, Michael, you had asked in pre-show why this bike over any of the other Softails. And for me, this motorcycle marks a place in time, like in that mid-'80s when Harley Davidson just had that look and that street appeal. You know, you can almost see that mid-'80s shovelhead look in this motorcycle, you know, and it's got that original Harley kind of look to it. That, you know, everybody wanted that big twin low rider kind of deal, and you know, this is their latest episode of that motorcycle. But
yeah, we just said, getting ready to take that bike apart for the Twisted Tea build this year, that like that bike then was like everybody wanted every piece of that bike.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what this reminds me of.
Yep.
Like that was the bike everybody wanted.
And of course, with the, you know, the couple new, the modern twist to it, you know, the little fairing and,
Yep.
you know, the updated performance technology that's in the Milwaukee 8s and stuff, but it still screams to that heritage of that mid-'80s shovel.
Hey, is this going to be like Oprah and you're going to say, all these guys get one?
Dude, wouldn't that be awesome? He went
That
from a
would be
flannel
awesome.
to a
I'm ready.
motorcycle. He's thinking big.
I wish. But as Mark had just mentioned to you earlier, it's me that's fixing my own Sprinter van out in the
Yeah,
driveway, and
yeah.
so I'm pretty sure I have a long way to go before Oprah.
Hey, Harley, if you're listening.
Hey, the Ass Prod wants to interject something here.
Come on.
Are we commercial free tonight?
No, I think we should take a break for commercial. It's a good thing that you brought that up.
Everybody hit your like and share buttons. There's more to come.
No, mash it.
Mash it, baby.
We'll be back in just 2 minutes with more Shop Talk. Don't go anywhere. Just 2 minutes. We'll be back to finish up the best of awards from the year in review.
Ever since I was younger than Gavin, I knew that I wanted to ride. I'd see a group of bikes going down the highway with all their gear packed on, and I just thought that I definitely want to do that. That's what I want to do. My current bike is a 2016 Harley Davidson Road Glide Ultra. I think it would be awesome if when he's old enough to ride, you know. I'd love to be able to go riding with him. He won't want to ride on the back forever. We just did an exhaust swap, well, slip-on exhaust swap.
My favorite part is when screwed both out, took them out. He did a test sound before that, and when it was all out, it was louder than it was before.
Oh, because we pulled the baffles out, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yep. I want to take people with me in my travels and stuff and show them the Midwest. Not just for the Midwest, but just to encourage people to get out there and explore. I'm Andrew, this is my son Gavin, and we are a Dennis Kirk family.
Go. Go ride. Farther. Faster. Go wild. Doesn't matter. As long as you go. Ride together into that wild world. Chase those quiet moments that are anything but quiet. Go. Just go. Leave no mile unturned. And leave a trail of stories in your wake. It's time now to go. Ride forth. Roll the life into it. That's when the world will tremble and bend like the curve in the road as you go. Go now, because the roads you don't take are the only ones that will haunt you when you're going, gone.
Okay, and that last commercial, that was for Harley Davidson. That was a little tribute to them, because without Harley Davidson, we wouldn't be here, any of us. So, just to make things clear, because every once in a while we have a pretty good laugh, usually at the expense of Harley Davidson. But the truth be told, most of us here bleed black and orange, and we appreciate everything that they do. So that's from us to you guys up there in Milwaukee.
That's a great one too. I love seeing Ashmore in there. I think there's Ashmore Ellis.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, some of these companies, the level of commercials that they're doing anymore are just so killer. Like, they're getting so good.
Yeah,
it's really good. I enjoyed that.
All right,
I've been privy to see the ones that are going to be coming out on the 22nd, and they are freaking unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. And I make a guest appearance, so.
I was going to say,
well, we figured that out.
Well, you are awesome, Jason.
Awesome. Little man crush going on over there.
Had to separate them on the screen. They were trying to hold hands.
Andy from Hot Leathers, would you please send this man a goddamn flannel?
See, this is his MO, though. He annoys people to death to get free stuff.
Yeah.
Can I be any more annoying? Just send me free stuff so I can be more annoying. Can I be any more annoying? Send me free stuff. I want free stuff.
Where's our free stuff? Where's our free stuff, Jason?
I still haven't got my Cannonball shit, Jason.
Oh boy. See, now he's throwing down.
Uh-oh. Embarrassed him.
Uh-oh.
Got his head
We
down.
have now lost him.
All right. Next
Real
category.
nice, Rob. You broke Jason.
Somebody had to.
Next category in the best of awards is for shop-related product of the year. This is for tools, chemicals, anything to make life in the shop easier. This year, voted by the Cycle Source magazine readers, the 2020 shop product of the year goes to Motion Pro for their fork vise. I am here to tell you, brothers and sisters, you do not even have to have a full-time job to appreciate this tool, because I am, and Mark will tell you this immediately, I am the messiest mechanic in the world. If I'm dealing with anything with oil, it's all over me, it's all over the floor, it's up the walls, it's on every tool that I touch, and this thing takes that down at least 20%.
Oh,
And
I
then
need
you-
one of those.
And then you don't end up
I
with
need one.
vice marks on your forks.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I like is that you're not the shop tool of the year.
Oh my god!
But then you're not you're not allowed. I mean, you're
That's right.
You're not allowed to be nominated for shop tool of the year, are you?
That's right. Otherwise, I'd be a shoo-in.
Anthony, you totally need one of those. They are incredible. I was actually working in the shop with Chris when it came in exceptionally handy. And Joe from Motion Pro is actually here watching with us tonight.
Oh, right on. What's up,
Love
Joe?
you, Joe. So glad to have you as part of our team. And
Motion
Pro.
Pro makes great stuff.
Yes,
They
yeah,
really
they really
do.
do.
We use their fuel bottle all the time in the shop.
Yep.
I mean, that's a go-to tool, a must-have.
Well, and going back to this one, because a lot of people are putting comments up that are interested. The thing that's great about this, Evan says he uses a bicycle clamp setup for front end tube work. The great thing about this, man, is everything from the parts tray to the oil catch to the fact that the
right
whole
there.
thing pivots. I mean,
Nice.
when I used this, I did a video review of this product, and what I said that was the most impressive about it is it's that third hand that you're always looking for when you're doing work like this. You always need that one extra hand to hold this, pull that, push this over here, and this thing just does it for you, and it makes that work fly. So, congratulations to them. Very awesome.
They make great stuff.
The next category, this is kind of interesting. This started out with a different name. It was actually Sportsman of the Year, and we did this for racers and adventure riders and stuff. And very quickly, Jody Pierwitz almost dominated this category for it seemed like 15 years in a row, even though she's not old enough to have that. But very quickly we had to change it. This year officially we've changed the name of the category to Sports Person of the Year, because this year's winner is also a female, and the Cycle Source magazine readers have voted 2020 Sports Person of the Year as Miss Stephanie Peets.
Nice.
What a great story.
She's
Yeah, we had
amazing.
Stephanie on our show, I think on January 5th, Michael, right? And she was just a wonderful guest.
She was on
Riveting.
ShopTalk last year, and she did a great job on ShopTalk as well.
Yeah, she
Great, great character, great story.
Good interview.
Yeah.
Riveting. And if you haven't seen it, go back and look at Coast, the reruns on YouTube of Coast to Coast with her on there.
Right.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she does it all. I don't know what she can't. Well, I guess she's going to do the Cannonball, Jason. We got to get her on the Cannonball.
Did you, Jason? Did you follow that? She'd, if we'd find her a bike, she'd love to do it. She'd be actually. A number of people have commented in the comment section on Stephanie that she would be an amazing addition to the Cannonballs. I don't know if you copped onto that, Jason.
I did, yeah. People
Yeah.
have reached out to me and wondering how they can get involved with maybe her and helping her out. So we'll see if it comes to fruition.
I know Chris Callen wanted to get a bike and somebody to sponsor him on the Cannonball too.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
I think Stephanie's got you beat.
Yep.
No.
I could be like, but I have 1 million followers, and they'd be like,
Yeah, no.
I don't care.
Nice
Get
try.
away from my motorcycle. Do you see that girl?
Have you seen her yet? That would be their line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris, can you wheelie a 1929 JD?
Give it
I
a
can.
shot.
He'll try like hell.
I can. But I'm going to tell you right now, Michael, if I do it with my shirt off, you're not going to be as impressed with the picture.
No, I'm gonna bet
Actually,
no.
my camera may turn the other direction.
Well, I'm just saying. So,
Jam.
well-known fact for anybody who gets up in years, the older you get, things tend to flap in the wind a little bit more. It's not pretty.
Use my theory, Michael. Don't take the lens cap off. So it works great.
Oh,
For
Jesus.
anybody that hasn't done it, look Stephanie up and check out the pictures of her riding in the sand and in the dirt and wheeling down
Absolutely
the road.
amazing.
My goodness, can she jump in the air, way up in the air?
Yep.
Really something else.
And not afraid to be
Instagram.
not afraid to be a woman at the end of the day too. She's
Yeah.
actually proud that she's a woman. You know, like
She's a pretty incredible person.
you know,
Very cool place.
Which-
Again, meeting people like this, it's like I heard of her, but I'd never met her. Now I feel like I made new friends too. I meet new people. It's so cool.
And
Awesome.
speaking of proud women, this brings us
Yes.
on to our Woman of the Year category. This one is always so tough, especially for this crew that's here in this group, because we know so many impressive, strong, independent women who are leading everything about motorcycling today. It was a tough category. It was probably our most voted category in the end. The Cycle Source magazine readers voted 2020 Woman of the Year as Miss Portia Taylor.
Yay!
Well
Yes.
deserved.
A wonderful person.
Well deserved.
She is. She is.
She's a treasure. She was a treasure to have on our
She
show.
really-
Again, we had her on our show.
Yeah, I got.
And
to
you got
ride
to ride with her, right?
I did. We both. Well, she did the entire United States in the women's. I always say it wrong. The WRWR, the World Relay.
Right.
And I rode the last section through Texas with her. So I got to ride, 300 miles or so with her and a whole bunch of other women. But it was a very inspiring event. And it was really, really cool to get to do it with Portia. So
She's a great spokesperson, and she rides her ass off. I mean, she's here, she's there. It's just-
Yeah, I'll have to admit that we really didn't know Portia before she was on Coast to Coast with you guys, Michael.
Well, we've gotten to meet so many women. I know for me, quite a few that I did not know. And I think next year, Chris, you and I may have to be doing some nominating for this category.
That's
We
right.
take women like Wendy Crockett that rode 12,000 miles in 11 days, or Ashmore Ellis from Babes Right Out. There's a lot of powerful women out there, but certainly this was certainly well deserved by Portia.
Definitely.
She
Thank
earned
you
it,
guys.
especially this year.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, speaking of another woman that happens to be a big supporter of all the shows, we had a little chime in from Marge from Shadow.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know if
Shadow.
anyone saw that, but she said that she just got word, and it sounds like in the last few minutes, that Splitting Lanes, Dodging Gutters will be held August 20th to 22nd
Right
at
on.
Wall Shorties in Asbury, New Jersey. An entire weekend of vintage bikes at an awesome venue. So psyched. So a shout out to definitely for this event, and
Yeah.
and to Marge as well, to Shadow for being such a great supporter of all these shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we couldn't do the Cannonball Chronicles without Marge.
Yeah,
No.
she puts it together.
Oh, she's unbelievable.
Behind the scenes.
She does incredible work. You know,
Yeah.
she's our show booker, talent coordinator.
Good
She's
person.
very, very good. Thorough, super thorough.
Nice. Oh, my
Yes,
dog's
sir.
barking.
Well, let's so that concludes our our award segment, but I want to talk to all of you guys for a minute about each one of these shows. So
Chris, can I interrupt just
Yeah.
real quick? Nancy Weems wants to know how we all met. But that's like a whole show.
Yeah, right.
So I just wanted to address that, Nancy. We did see your question, but we all kind of met differently and through each other. So
Through motorcycles.
Yep.
Yeah, motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know, it could be an interesting. Chris, Callan, you mentioned maybe we should do this again in 6 months or at some point, where we all get together as hosts
Every
of the different shows, right? But it could be fun to do one where we actually relate the stories that we each remember of our earliest memories of meeting some of the other hosts.
Yeah.
Like I know when I met Chris in the mid '80s, and early when I met Chris Callan and Heather up in Laconia. So all the different people through the
Yeah.
different means. That could be kind of fun, especially the ones that have known each other and the stories go back the furthest.
Well,
I'm
and
not allowed to talk about it.
And those are the ones the listeners want to hear.
I could tell you, but you know the rest.
my mother hanged me on a hook once. Once.
And actually, I think I've had the pleasure of actually meeting everybody, except I've never actually met Rob Nussbaum in person.
Really?
Yes.
We have to fix that.
Well, you're gonna
have to meet over a pork roll.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he
I'll
called.
even get you guys show up. I'll get you all Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on a hot roll.
Oh my God, I'm coming out. I want one.
See, okay, listen. Somebody send Chris a pork roll.
Damn
somebody
it, send one.
Send her a pork roll.
Just a picture.
I don't know if I have one either, but that's not the point. Now that Chris wants one, she's in Hawaii. It'd be way harder for her
Chris,
to get one.
next time you're out here, we'll go pick one up at the deli.
Yeah.
Because
The deli.
we can have them every morning
Yeah.
here in New Jersey. I can
Okay,
have
Rob,
a
I'm coming out.
I can have a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese every morning.
that
but
schmutz and bagel.
dead next week.
You don't have to get it at the Bordego.
No, we have delis here in Jersey.
Delis. Oh,
Or
okay.
diners. We have plenty of diners.
Well, here's what I want to talk about. So, Motorcycle Cannonball Chronicles. Let's start with that show. That
Okay, quick shout out then. Let's do this picture.
here. Let me get
Where
you
is
up on
it?
screen. Hang on.
Oh no, well I gotta get it. I got it. Oh,
Wait.
hold on.
It's Pat. It's Pat.
A
the
shout out to Pappy Simmons.
Yeah, Pappy's on my bike though. Just before I met him.
Pappy and Buddy.
When I met him, I stole that bike from him immediately. I said, "You're not riding that, are you? Can I have it?"
You know what? If we could see everybody in their boxes, I'd like to see a show of hands of anyone that has a dog somewhere on their premises.
You probably hear mine. She's crying because there's no one.
Because Noreen Cordes Pot says, "Whose poor dog has been barking?" And Mitch Bodine replied, "I'm hearing that also."
It's my dog, and my husband's out mowing the pasture, and he just forgot I had to do this show. So I confess it's my dog, and she's fine.
For a
She's fine.
change,
She
it's
took her
not
birthday.
Bob.
She's a sweet little puppy that just wants a little more attention.
She's a big 4-month-old, 35-pound puppy. Okay.
Jason, where's Bob? What about Bob?
He's right here.
Bob's old, doesn't cry.
So, let's start with Cannonball again. So, basically the show Cannonball Chronicles is a way to take a deeper look excuse me, into the teams, the life and times, and the real people that are behind this incredible event, the Motorcycle Cannonball. But Jason and Rob, why don't you talk a little bit for a minute for people that might only tune in to Shop Talk and don't know about Cannonball Chronicles, and tell them about the show.
Okay. Well, we're Cannonball Chronicles. We're on Wednesday nights right here, Cycle Source channel on a hump day. And anyway, we talk about the lives, everything that's Cannonball related with the cross country event that we do every 2 years on antique motorcycles. So for you guys that are tuning in tonight that don't know what the Motorcycle Cannonball is, we are an antique motorcycle race that happens every 2 years, and we go from coast to coast. And really, the route changes every 2 years. The riders change, the years of motorcycles, all that kind of stuff. And we just get out there and give you the stories of what these guys go through to get across the country on these antique dinosaurs. That it's a 2-week journey, usually 16, 17 days. So we've got many guys that have done multiple events, and we bring on staff and support crew that are just getting ready and prepared for their very first event, and just kind of see what they're up to and what it takes to build these motorcycles and get to the event itself. So
now, Rob, in addition to being a co-host of this show, you've not only been a support crew on the Cannonball, but you've also been behind building a lot of the motors and motorcycles that have to endure this challenge.
Well, I became friends with Lonnie Ism Jr., who's now passed on, but he was a great inspiration and a good friend. And I met him out in Las Vegas at the auction one year, and he came up and introduced himself, and we got to talking for a while, and I got really interested in the Cannonball. And then Buzz Cantor came in and asked me to do one of his bikes over for the 2014 Cannonball. And then I got to know a whole bunch of other people. Jason Sims and I were just sitting in the lobby of the hotel one night. We got to shoot the shit, and he and I became really good friends, to the point where we annoy the shit out of each other now. So, but
what up?
Yeah. Shh, quiet. It's my turn to talk. So I got real involved, and then we started doing a lot of engines. In the last Cannonball, we did like 4 engines for a bunch of different teams, and they did very well. So the Cannonballs kind of helped me a lot. But what I liked about it is the camaraderie, the family. I got to go with a great team last time out, Team Effie with Chris Simmons. So that's my tie-in with Chris and Pat and Dave Minerva and Plumber Dave. I don't want to leave him out, but we had a great time. Anyway, the whole idea behind the Cannonball Chronicles was to bring you a show every week about the people. Now with COVID, we have to do it remotely, but we're hoping that when things open up, we'll actually get to go to these places and host the shows remotely from where these people are working on their bikes and get some, a more intimate picture. But so far, it seems pretty good.
Let us in.
Yeah, well, we'll force our way in. That's it. That's all. That's all.
They'll just check you before you leave to make sure you didn't take it.
That's the key, because Jason, he wants something for free,
Yeah,
no matter what.
Well, flannel, something he can wear.
Well,
how about them gloves?
I brought up your mechanical connection to the show because at Retrocycle, which is your business, incredible work that you guys do. But we're actually going to have Rob on next week for some of the work that you're doing on old motorcycle parts. He's going to be a guest on Shop Talk, and we're going to go over some of the stuff that he's working on at Retrocycle. So that's going to be an awesome show. Make sure you put that on your calendar. But
I happen to have that generator right here.
Look at that.
I can vouch for him. He knows his generators.
I look like this will be a good ASMR show for me.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, you don't know ASMR?
No.
Stupid what?
Come on, I just figured out. Let me Google that for you. What is ASMR?
It's like those relaxation videos that just like, and then you hear the.
So does that stand for like auto sexual
Sensory,
motorcycle release?
memory,
Is that the thing that Bill Redensel did with Katy Perry?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Exactly.
No, we don't want to see the pics of that.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Yes.
Wow. Listen to Heather.
Somebody got the googly going.
Yeah.
The Google machine.
Did you Google that for us?
I Googled it.
Yay, Heather.
Oh my God.
I Googled it.
Okay. So Rebecca, we already talked about the fact that you're in the sidecar, but literally you are probably the one person on the motorcycle Cannonball every year that's doing the most miles, because you're back and forth and up and down and in and out, and while everyone else is just going from checkpoint to checkpoint, you probably do 2 or 3 times the amount of miles that everyone on the race does.
I don't know that I do a lot more. I do a little bit more. I don't do a lot of back and forth, but I do a lot. Well, I kind of do, I guess. Sorry.
You never
that.
change.
Yeah. Hey, and
I know.
ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca Cunningham.
Yeah, duh. Every morning I live stream the bike starting out, and then I throw my stuff on my bike and I head out and ride along with them, and I catch up with them. And then I get, somebody's broke down on the side of the road, and I hang out with them while they're broke down on the side of the road, doing that camera in the face stress thing I do. And then I get back on the road and I catch up with some more riders, and I do it all over again. So I don't necessarily do more miles, but I do all the miles that they do.
Yeah.
And a few more, I guess. And then
she sees all the
Michael
drama.
is then.
Yeah, because she's looking for the shot.
Hey, Rebecca, how about giving a shout out to your 2 safe keepers who ride along with you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Joe Skaggs and Kurt Cloakinga. This last time, they took it upon themselves to babysit me through the whole thing. We usually have a rider or 2 who hang back and are as staff members to watch out for the competitors that will kind of trail along behind all of the riders, so that if somebody's pulled over and they're broke down, we've got a staff member who can pull over and make sure they're okay, interact with the chase vehicles, the organizers, and lend a hand if they're working on something they need an extra hand to hold apart, or for whatever reason. It also, we try to watch out for traffic and stuff like that. So those 2 guys decided that they would tag team and be the end of the ride for as far as staff goes. And because I get out there late, because I live stream everybody leaving, I kind of fell in with them. And so they worked really hard making sure that I didn't get run over by a car, because I tend to pull over into oncoming traffic to videotape the guys riding down the road. And so Joe and Kurt kind of worked out a way to catch my attention and get me to get over out of the way of oncoming traffic.
I love how she puts it. Yeah, I have a tendency to just not pay attention to shit.
I can tell you, me and Dana coming home from Laconia, 2 years ago, had Rebecca jump out of the moving truck and run and cut a poster off of a fence that we wanted, and we were in traffic moving, and she like never missed a beat. She was out, the van was rolling, she was back in, the van was rolling. So she's like one of those people that you can send her out there. You just got to make sure she's like the what's the game where you got to miss the traffic, you know, the
Frogger.
Yeah, she's the one.
Jesus Christ, are you getting old?
I don't play those video game things. If I can't beat it with a hammer, I ain't playing with it. You know what I mean? Better.
All right, so listen, let's move on to Coast to Coast. So Coast to Coast, this was actually something that Rob Nussbaum kept bringing up, and he was like, look, you know, this is going to be great. It's awesome. Chris wants to do a show. She's got ideas. She's got all these people that she wants to bring on. And I was like, honestly, I was doing 4 shows at the time, 4 shows a week.
You're ready.
And my bandwidth was thin. And man, I'm so grateful that we actually, you know, managed to get that together. But let's talk about where Coast to Coast comes from, where you started all this, because I was lucky enough to know of Chris and about Chris for years and years and years before I ever met her. I knew so much of her stories and the stuff that she did. She was kind of like a, you know, a little bit of she was my spirit animal.
She's the boss girl.
But tell everybody where all this starts with you and how we get to Coast.
Go, boss girl.
Oh, I thought you asked Rob to say it. Well, you know, Chris, I met you probably through magazines, obviously, through motorcycling. And I had done my American Motorcycle Girls 1900 to 1950 book, my big book.
Yeah.
And for some reason, someone set me up with the book signing in Rapid City at Borders. Remember Borders, you know? And I thought, oh, okay, it's kind of out of the way, but I'll go do a book signing there. And I'm standing there, and I think Scott Jacobs was in there doing his book at the same time. And like one person came to the book signing. Guess who that was? Chris Callan. And he stole my heart. And I was like, what a sweet guy. I'll love you forever now. You know, it's like just such a great person. But, you know, and then I think the idea for this show, I've always been, you know, a motorcycle journalist, been involved in magazines for many, many years. As a freelance writer the last maybe 25 years. But the idea for the show, I had, you know, the stories of all these wonderful women and people that I'd known, and there really wasn't anything. It's kind of like the old magazine days when we started Harley Women magazine back in 1985. There really wasn't anything directed just really for women. And so thank you and Heather for having the insight, Chris, and Rob, you helped also for sure to help bring this into fruition. And then having Michael jump in on it. And Mike and I have known each other since I think 1986. And we've stayed friends for so many years, and having that, you know, we're just really comfortable together hosting the show. So that's kind of how it started.
Well, I want to say, just before we cut to Michael real quick here, I want to say that your modesty and humility is almost shameful. So Chris is a total badass, like not only, but between her and her partner with the first ever women's motorcycle magazine in a time where it was not still entirely popular to even be a woman riding a motorcycle. They were doing a magazine for women, and convinced Harley Davidson Motor Company. Now, you guys that went through the 90s craze and the early 2000s and, you know, would hear the stories of Harley Davidson going to trademark court with people and suing people for having a little matchbox with the bar and shield on it. Somehow they go to Harley Davidson and convince them for the lifetime of their publication to be able to use the name Harley Women.
Yeah, for $1 a year. Well, my partner Jo worked at a Harley dealership. She was a parts person, and she knew who to talk to. So she got us an appointment up there. We went up there with our little box of our boards, you know, our storyboards, all laid out, everything for our first issue. I think it was like 16 pages, all black and white. And we said, we had an idea for this, and can we use your name? And they're like, what? You know, it's kind of like, was crazy, but there's a few women that work there. Cal Demetrius, she's since retired, but they kind of took us under their wing. They saw that there was a potential because there were a lot of women starting to ride in the early 80s. I mean, you didn't see them as much as nothing like you do nowadays.
Yeah.
But it was because of them. So I owe them so much to believe in us and give us that chance, you know.
Well, and Michael, you know, we talked in the beginning of the show about, you know, your history in this, and the fact that you really are a motorcycle historian really rounds out this show perfectly, because the depth that you go to for your show prep, like I'm going to tell you guys behind the scenes, nobody preps for a show like this cat. Nobody. No, not a single one of us on this panel get ready for a show like Michael Lichter.
Well, thank you. But it's what I do, I guess. You know, my general philosophy in life is when people ask, do you want to do something? The answer is normally yes. There's very few instances that I would say no. Sometimes it gets you into trouble, and it has in the past, but for the most part, it brings you all sorts of new opportunities. So Chris, after her first week, she asked if I'd co-host with her. And as she said, we go back, I hate to admit 35 years, but which is 35 great years. And so we've had this friendship, and it was real nice that we have the bond through motorcycling and our general friendship, that it was a pleasure to do it. And honestly, if somebody comes to you and says, you're a guy, and they say, we'd like you to come on and be a co-host of a show all about women and with only women guests, it's like, sure.
Yeah, but they love you. Everyone loves you. Come on. All the women love you. Everybody that knows you loves you. So.
Not enough to let them go on that ride, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him. He wants to go on the Babes Ride Out, and they won't.
I do want to go on Babes. I really want to go on Babes Ride Out, but maybe someday they'll let me in. But for now,
I have to say, Rob, you were on the first show, and that's not that we wanted to get rid of you or anything, because you did a great job. You were with us with Gloria, and
Hey, there's
but
only
you had too much going on. Yeah, you had too much going on, so we cut you loose. But we love, and you can come back anytime you want.
Well, I'm always happy to jump in when I can. That's
one thing that's been kind of cool is that for many of the guests, I know. Let's see, who do we have this coming week? Genevieve. I have photos, but they're older photos, so I didn't have access. So she's sending us photos this week. The week after is going to be Jody Perowitz.
Yeah.
And I've known Jody since she's, again, hard to admit, but since she's 3 years old, when I stayed at Dave Perowitz's house and she was just a little baby. So I have lots of pictures of Jody. So I can go into my archive and I have photos for many of our guests. And the ones that I don't, they're the ones that I get to meet and learn about. And it's sort of like we were saying about Stephanie Peets. I did have a number of photos of her racing the last couple of years, but I saw so much more and got to know her so much better through the show. And now after COVID, I can't wait to go meet her out in the California desert and photograph her riding the sand dunes. And same thing, like our long distance rider, that amazing woman that's riding the length of South America with her 12-year-old.
Wendy Crockett, right?
Yes, Wendy Crockett. So I'm really looking forward to meeting face to face with many of these people and photographing them in the years ahead. So it's kind of like the beginning of something new as well.
Well, and as much as, for me growing up, watching Chris's magazine and the stuff that they were doing and watching all the magazines that you were part of, because that was a whole other part of this. I mean, we really are in the presence of motorcycle media royalty whenever we get to hang out with you, because you and a handful of guys really forged the path for all of this stuff, and I think we need to acknowledge that like a big part of why Easy Riders was ever what it was because of the perspective that you were given
and all the builders that you've discovered through your photography over the years. You really helped build a lot of careers.
Thank you.
In this, when we did our Sturgis documentary this year, one of the most riveting moments for me was listening to Aaron Green talk about how there were levels from when you were a kid and you just wanted a motorcycle, and then you wanted to have a cool motorcycle. You wanted to make it into something cool. And in the back of your head all the time, you're looking through the magazines to find those parts, and you're thinking in the back of your head, man, if I could ever get my bike in a magazine. And that was a whole nother level. Like, he could remember when he got his very first feature. He said, but then there was a whole other thing that happened that was next level when Michael Lichter shot your motorcycle for a feature in a magazine. And I think, man, like, listen, I've owned a magazine for 25 years. The first time that you ever shot my bike that ended up in another magazine, I was unconsolable.
Well, thank you. It's been a great journey, and meeting all these people over the years. One thing is I've spent a lot of time. I mean, I even remember Aaron coming out to Boulder and bringing this amazing bike, the one that sits way up high where I think the bars in the tank are higher than his eyes and he has to look around the side. And having that in the studio, it was such a wonderful thing getting to know him. A lot of these people that have brought their bikes to the studio, I photographed them around the country. But another thing is the amazing times of meeting people where it was just a brief encounter. And one is, it was kind of what I was talking about before, our early encounters with each other. And I don't know that this was our first. I don't think it was, but I remember taking your picture, Chris Callan, in a parking lot in Milwaukee around 2003. You can correct me.
It was the anniversary.
I feel like it was a very private, personal moment that you let me in on. I mean, I took your picture, but then we had this amazing conversation because you were on your way to Bonneville and you had your mom's ashes
in a Sportster tank. Yeah.
And a tank on the back of the bike. And I have to find that photograph of you. Those kind of moments, and I probably have that with each of you if I go back and look at early pictures of you where you just kind of a brief encounter where we met. And
hey, Michael, and this is how our lives are also intertwined too, because this guy right here, right beneath me in this shot, that was the guy that put her in the tank.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and I gotta say, when it comes to Michael shooting a bike for you, he makes you feel like you're the only guy in the room. I mean, he makes your bike feel special. He's such a great person. He's so cordial, and he loves everything. He makes your bike look amazing. One of my favorite Michael stories is when something wicked, or not something wicked, when Bored to Death fell over on him, and he was afraid to call. He was afraid to call Chris and tell Chris, dude, I think I broke your bike.
And we had to level with him and say, no, dude, it was our fault. Like the kickstand sucks, and
yeah, he was like, I don't know how to tell you this, and he told him. We both started laughing.
Oh God! Nice. Anyway, I do love that bike. That, especially the name of it, that so captures your wit that you bring to your life every day.
And that dude sounds like he is Sir Michael Lichter.
Yes, Sir Michael. Dude's right.
We have to knight you, Michael.
Yeah. Sir Michael Lichter.
That's going to be an event in itself, right there. We're gonna knight Michael Lichter.
Hey, listen, am I wrong in saying that has to happen at the Pimp and Ho party?
No,
dude, that would be great.
Right?
That would be fantastic.
Michael Lichter gets knighted at the Players Ball.
Sir Michael Lichter. I second the nomination.
And then Boogie Fever starts playing. Boogie Fever.
Oh, now he's blushing.
Dude, you realize that's how that all came to light, was in the Flat Road trailer, listening to all that 70s disco music, and we were like, dude, Pimps and Hoes.
Yeah, we need to have
we knew it was coming. Yep.
Pimps and Hoes.
Oh my God!
We go from knights to Pimps and Hoes.
Well, that's where we're gonna knight Michael.
That's where we're gonna knight him. Yeah, at the Players Ball.
Okay, now you got to really pimp him. You got to pimp yourself out really good, Mike.
Oh shit! All right, man. Well, listen, I want to thank each one of you for being here with us, and we definitely went way over time, and I hope everybody's okay with that. But what a killer show! And what our plan is, and you guys can comment or send us messages and tell us what you think about this. Probably once a quarter, we're going to get everybody from all these shows together like this, and we're just going to talk about current events, whatever news of the motorcycle industry is going on, and how we all feel about, since everyone here represents so many different parts of the motorcycle culture today. I think it's a good idea that we make it more than just one voice.
Poppy said we have a throne.
See there? Steve Rose. Steve Rose has a throne.
I
for
just
you,
love
Michael.
him. He's great.
There's a dude who I'm friends with through the TV shows. Who I have not met.
Oh my God, he's amazing. He is one of my favorite people in the world.
That's a dude I gotta meet.
Great guy.
And you and him would be like two peas in a pod.
Oh my God.
Well, we're probably miserable bastards. Two miserable old bastards. Right?
Right on. All right, man. Well, listen, I'm gonna cut all of you guys loose.
Okay.
Thank you again, and
everybody.
Everybody remember that you can catch Cannonball Chronicles Wednesday nights 9 p.m.
Mash the button.
Mash the share and like button. You can catch Coast to Coast with Chris and Michael on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, and great content from both of these shows, and a lot of people working really hard on them. So go check them out.
Hope you get your shirt, Jason. So.
Thank you guys. Good night,
We got you. We got you
Good
hooked
night,
up, bro.
everyone.
Thanks, folks.
Thank all of you, and also to all the people that chimed in tonight. There
Oh,
are
yeah.
so many comments. I love how people are talking together because it's their bike night too, where they're
Yeah.
just talking to each
Right.
other. It's so
Absolutely.
cool to watch. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Night.
All right, man. Hey, we got a couple things I just want to get to real quick. We've been busy in the Grease and Gears garage is what we call it, right?
No, okay.
Jesus. Chris,
Oh
get
my
it together.
goodness, really?
In the Grease and Gears garage, we've been building a mini bicycle, an electric bicycle, an e-bike, and
Min e-bike. Get it?
doing this for the Flying Pistons charity that's happening in Daytona. Bringing back the Builders Breakfast. If you're not aware of the Flying Pistons, you definitely need to go check this out. It's going to be a good time in Daytona, and getting together to put these custom motorcycles together, us and a bunch of the builders in the industry, and the end result is they take the money that's raised through this and they get bicycles into schools for young kids to learn how to ride. Their logic behind that is this is the next generation of motorcycle riders, and we can take an active role in that. So what you see on the screen right now is not our bike. This is Evan Favreau's. Evan Favreau's. And he is he's fast at work at the Hardcore Chopper thing.
Well, apparently he's not. He's sitting at his computer giving us shitty comments.
I know, right? So our bicycle is a little further behind that. We had to take it completely apart.
We're still looking for a few pieces. We think we lost them.
Karen Moore never got the answer. Nobody did get the answer.
No, a couple people got the answer. I just need to figure out who
got it first.
Who got it first?
Okay, so the magazine started in March in 1997, and at the time I was bouncing in a strip club with Mark, actually. So this is where our bike is right now. We've got some different wheels. We got a lowrider fender for the back. We got a little mini bike tank that we're going to convert into. The front end. We'll have the Springer front end on tomorrow, and we'll know how much we need to rake the frame. In the meantime, we had this weird little mini bike tank, and chopped the hell out of it and put some mounts on, and Bob's your uncle. So there we go, chopping a mini electric bike. Mr. Smalls is crying behind you, and it's killing me. Oh my God.
He's got the door open just enough that he can fit his fat little head through. So he's sitting there crying, and I'm sorry.
He's pushing the issues, what he's doing.
So because we've been going so much over tonight, I'll tell you guys, go to flyingpistonsbenefit.com to check out everything about the bikes. We're going to have some of the other builders on, show you some of their bikes. We're going to show you more what we're doing with ours in the weeks to come here. Again, make sure you check out all the other shows from Source Media. Thanks to all our hosts for being on for that. Thanks to all of you guys for giving us the headspace and letting us into your house every Sunday with 90 to 120 minutes, all the bullshit we can fit. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
It's going to be my goodbye now. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Listen, until next week when we come back with more of this bullshit, same
Next
chopper
week,
time.
we have Eric Runyon, Gears and Glory.
That's right.
That's going to be a super cool show. Another ridiculously talented photographer and storyteller is going to be joining us next week.
Telling us about Chopper Town Live too, right?
Yeah,
Chopper
so
Town
he's
Live.
going to be here. Be sure to check out that show. If you want to familiarize yourself with him a little bit, go onto Instagram. It's Gears and Glory. Again, incredible photographer. Looking forward to some of his stories next week.
Okay. Are you ready to end the show now, Heather?
Is it over?
Well, I mean, I could go on if you want.
Oh, boy.
All right, man. We'll see you next week. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Appreciate you.
Man, I love this shit.